Can the Mariners fix the vibes this weekend? We'll discuss. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Friday, September 5th, 2025. This is Titan Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode. On today's show, we'll get you set for the Mariners series against the Braves. We'll talk about what it will take to restore the vibes and how can the Mariners put these guys in the best position to succeed from here on out. Let's start here with our series preview. The Atlanta Braves are 63-77. I don't think anyone could have foreseen this. This was a club entering this year with World Series aspirations, and they have been non-competitive all season long. Now, injuries have completely decimated them, and they have gotten healthier as of late, but they're still dealing with quite a few big names on the injured list right now, like Austin Riley, like Grant Holmes, Ronaldo Lopez, Spencer Schwellenbach, AJ Smith-Shawver, Aaron Bummer, Joe Jimenez. Chris Sale had also been on the IL for a long time. Spencer Strider has been, has bounced back and forth off of the IL. Those last two guys that I just mentioned are going to pitch in this series. Unfortunately, they're also going to throw Hurston Waldrop, one of their top pitching prospects, who's been very good since making his major league debut. So this is not an easy landing spot for the Mariners against Braves team again, who is 63-77 on the year, but is 17-14 since the start of August. Started to hit a little bit better. Matt Olson is obviously having a great year. Ronald Acuna Jr. has really struggled since the start of August, but he's still Ronald Acuna Jr. And there's still names in here like Jurickson Profar and Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris and Drake Baldwin, who's had a great year as well. They've also added some talent as of late. Hassan Kim is now here. They picked him up off of waivers from the Rays, took on his salary. And Jake Fraley, former Mariners, also now an Atlanta Brave. So this is a very talented team. The ultimate issue here with this club and the weakness the Mariners have to try and expose here is their bullpen. Now, they do have some talented arms in their bullpen. Don't get me wrong. They do have some guys who can throw it still. But the bullpen has been the biggest issue for the Braves. And since mid-August, they are collectively running an ERA of 5. They've been one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball for a little while now. So you want to try and get into this bullpen, especially with the guys that I mentioned starting these games for Atlanta. So Colby, thoughts on this series?
It's a Braves team that just pretty much everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Remember, they didn't have Acuna for the first month, and then Strider got hit with his injury late in spring, and Sale had his own stuff, and then Jurickson Profar got hit with his 80-game suspension, and Ozzie Albies has been terrible this year. Michael Harris got off to a dreadful start. He's been very good recently, but he was awful in the first half. So it's just kind of one of those things where you look at the record and you say, well, Seattle should be able to beat this team. And you would think, yeah, they probably should be able to beat this team. But if you want to look at the last 20 games on the road, you would look at it and say they have no shot because this is still a very talented Braves team. Yes, they are who they are right now. They are a bad team overall because we're on set to September 5th now. And the record is the record. They're not a good baseball team, but they are a talented baseball team. And you, while you're also talented, are not a good baseball team right now, whereas the Braves are pretty solid right now, and they have the pitching advantage this weekend. So You really needed to find a way to win a game against the Rays because, well, for a number of reasons. But now you're going into the series where your two worst pitchers who have the possibility or maybe even the probability of imploding are going back-to-back starts. And by the way, you have a cross-country flight from Atlanta back to Seattle with no day off on Monday. So, yeah, things are going great right now. You're facing a bad team, but you're facing them at a bad time for you. You're facing them at a bad time for them because they're playing better and they're throwing their three best guys at you, whereas you're throwing your two worst guys in the series. You might be able to score enough runs off of the bullpen to steal a game or two because the offense has been okay on the road trip. But I don't trust Castillo. I don't trust Bryce Miller. And honestly, I really don't trust Logan Gilbert all that much either. When you just kind of look at who they're up against, the odds are probably significantly favoring the Braves this weekend. But, the Mariners are a talented team. And sometimes it only takes that one game, that one moment where somebody steps up, they have a big moment, and it can, turn around and energize the team pretty quickly. But just based on what we've seen on the road the last month, I don't know how you could go into any road series and expect to win that series, regardless of who the opponent is.
The best opportunity to score runs off of a Braves starter is actually against Spencer Strider right now.
Yeah.
101 innings pitched, 4.97 ERA, 4.78 FIP. He's not striking out as many guys as he has in the past. He's still averaging a little over a strikeout an inning, but
sure,
it's not in the 12K per nine, 13K per nine range that he has been in his career.
Yeah, he's kind of having his Bryce Miller season. Couple stints on the IL, and you just know it's ultimately a lost year. And you just kind of try and get into his reps at the end of this year, and then have the full off season to rest, reset, and come back strong the next year. So he is having a very similar season to what we're watching with Bryce Miller.
Yeah. So Strider, kind of the guy that you really want to get to here of the three that you're going to face in this Braves rotation. The unfortunate part is that you are countering him with road Luis Castillo. So we will talk about how the Mariners could potentially restore the vibes. And maybe one of those is Luis Castillo getting back on the horse. I think that would be a good way to start restoring the vibes. We'll go over that in just a moment, but first a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Zippix. This episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com and use the promo code Locked On. That's LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 years old or older to order. Warning: nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code Locked On. That's LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Toothpicks. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. For instant reactions following every Mariners game, be sure to tune in to the Mariners postcast with Anderson Hurst and Christopher Crawford, available on both the Locked On Mariners YouTube and podcast feeds. Locked On has also put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Either scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. So this team really needs to restore the vibes, and quickly. And the obvious answer as to how they restore the vibes is you win games, right? Win the series, sweep. That would certainly help restore the vibes. But also Colby, does it matter at all how it looks?
No, I don't think it really matters how it looks. We're in September. If the Mariners play 3 super ugly games and they sweep the Braves, is anybody going to care on Monday? No. It doesn't matter how it looks. You just need to win games. If they win, nobody's going to care. And if they lose, they're not going to get credit for playing a clean baseball game and losing, 5-4 because they showed some real heart out there. It's September 5th. You've lost, what is it now? 13 of your last 20. Nobody cares how much heart you showed or anything like that. So to me, like, let's say Luis does go out there and he throws 7 scoreless, right? I am not going to assume under any circumstance that when they go back out on the road to play Kansas City and Luis is making that start. Although I don't know for sure because I haven't.
Right now, it's lined up for Luis to pitch in the series finale of the Kansas City series.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, so you gonna get Houston?
No.
So yeah, it's like if you go 7 scoreless tonight, I am not going to be like, oh well. Next time he goes out there against Kansas City, I expect anything close.
Sure.
No, I'm going to expect him to be shelled again because we're 138 game, 140 games into whatever it is into this season, and Luis has been bad on the road. And he's been especially bad recently, but overall he's still been bad on the road. And so at a certain point, you are what you are, regardless of what happened the last time out. And I think that's true, especially for pitchers. Now, it's possible. Certainly we've seen pitchers go on heaters out of nowhere, kind of at the last minute too. So it's certainly possible that something like that could happen. But I think at this stage, am I going to trust Luis to make to throw a pitch on the road for the rest of this season? No, I'm not. Knowing that he's going to have to. Am I going to trust it? No, I'm not at all. You are who you are at this point, and that's who Luis is. That's why I don't trust Bryce Miller, even though he had a really nice outing his last time. You are who you are at this stage. And again, that doesn't mean that you can't get hot. We see it all the time, but I'm going to operate under the assumption that the player you've been for the last 140 games is the player you are for the final 22, 23 games. That's just how I'm going to operate. But, other people don't operate like that. And so if Luis does come out and shove, then I'm sure there will be a good chunk of people, a good percentage who would be very encouraged by that and more confidence in Luis going out there in a couple of weeks when they go back out on the road. Only like a week, but you guys know what I mean.
Sure.
When he makes his next road start, it's just not going to be me. But sure, I think that there are going to be people out there who certainly believe that Luis is figured something out and he's back if he goes out there and he throws a good ball game. Maybe more than just the fans. Feels like Luis needs to go out there and throw a good ball game.
Yeah.
For himself.
Yeah. Get your confidence back, right? Look, Luis Castillo isn't ever going to be the guy that we saw in Toronto 3 years ago.
No,
he's not.
Nope.
But can he still be a stabilizer in the rotation? Yes, because we've seen that this year.
Yeah.
So, talking about who guys are and who they've shown you they are, like Luis Castillo, for all the issues that he's shown you on the road, he's also shown you that he has been able to stabilize things when this rotation has been at its worst moments over the course of the year. Now, he has contributed to some of those terrible moments as well, especially as of late. But for the most part, again, how many times have we said on the show over the course of the season, where would this team be if they had traded Luis this past winter?
Yeah.
So that guy's stuff is definitely there and can happen at any given point. It's just the odds of it happening on the road pretty low. And because that bar is so incredibly low, it's like if you clear it, great. But I don't know if that necessarily raises the bar at all for future starts on the road, which there's only one more after this for him. If you could get another great start out of Bryce Miller as well. And great is relative to, what Bryce Miller has been this year. Yeah. I'm talking about basically what he did in Cleveland on Sunday. If you can get that again. If you can get that again out of Bryce, great.
Yep.
So if you can get just 2 out of these 3 starts to be pretty good for you and they don't kill your bullpen and they keep you in the game, I'm thrilled with that. I don't know if that's necessarily enough to like restore the vibes. At the end of the day, you just got to win these games.
Yeah. But again, because you don't have that off day on Monday, going deep-ish into these games and not having to have your bullpen cover, 8 of the last 18 innings of this series and then fly across the country and then have to go up against the Cardinals, that would help a lot. Even if they lose this series, that would still be a mini win, we'll have to call it, because Lord knows that the Mariners aren't getting any real dubs recently. You just kind of have to take the little wins where you can get them, and if every starter can give you 6 in this series, then I think you probably feel pretty good about that, and you can not really reset the pen, but you can manage it and make sure that you're not having to make a ton of roster moves, and you're not having to ask Munoz to throw 3 days in a row or 4 days, 4 days and 4 games in 5 days. Like, you can do that if these guys go deeper into games, and they just haven't. Like, the starting pitching this road trip has been non-competitive for the most part. But to restore the vibes, the formula is very simple: win.
All right, so we're going to talk about potential lineup changes, player usage, all that. How can the Mariners put their guys in the best position to succeed from here on out? Go over that in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is once again brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. All right, folks, it's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. And let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. And golf is all about good times with good people. And good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. So, how did the Mariners put their guys in the best position to succeed, Colby? Do they just keep things status quo? Do you want to see some lineup changes? Do you want to see bullpen usage switch up a little bit? What would you like to see the rest of the way starting tonight?
Yeah, I think, there's a certain element of this where it's like, you really can't do much. Like, you're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. One thing I think you could see, though, or should see, is I think you need to give Leo Rivas a real shot here. And I'm not saying you have to make him the everyday second baseman, but there's really no reason for Rivas not to play like tonight against Sale. Lefty on the mound, maybe it's Polo playing second so that you could DH Garver or whatever, how they like to do it. But like, Leo Rivas is a switch hitter. Cole Young has been dreadful this year. Rivas, every time he's been given an opportunity to play at the big league level, which hasn't been a much, he's produced and he's helped you win. And he crushed it down in AAA. Like, I think you need to put Leo Rivas in this lineup at the bottom of the lineup, because this team was at its best when JP and Cole Young in the 8 and the 9 spot were getting on base, drawing walks, seeing a ton of pitches, and it just fed the rest of the lineup. And right now you're getting nothing from both of those guys. JP's been a little bit better on this road trip, but Cole Young's been a disaster for about 2-3 weeks now. And he's getting exposed right now. And it's not unusual. He's a 21-year-old rookie. It doesn't say anything negative about his future, but he's just not the guy right now. And so I think having Rivas play second base, hit ninth, be that guy who draws walks, slaps the ball around into the gaps, can steal some bags. Like, those are things that right now Cole Young's not capable of giving you. And you should take advantage of your expanded roster while you have it. So I think Rivas should be getting, like, this weekend, I want to see Rivas get 2 starts.
I agree with that.
Tonight. Yeah. Maybe not tonight, because they like to put Polo at second against lefties, and so Garver can DH. I get that. So maybe not tonight, but I would think, one start for Cole Young, maybe even one start for JP Crawford. Again, you do not have the off day. On Monday, you're going to play 7 more games, after the series ends. JP Crawford is exhausted. You could tell he's out there kind of, going through the motions half the time. He doesn't have a lot of juice left. Giving him days off is important. And if you can give him 2 days off in 3 games, I mean, heck, maybe you start Rivas tonight at shortstop with Sale on the mound. That is not a good matchup for any lefty. So it doesn't really matter how good JP is. Put Rivas at shortstop tonight. Have him play second tomorrow. See how these 2 games go. And then if you want to have him play second again for Cole Young, fine, you do that. If not, fine, Cole Young. Like, Rivas should be in the lineup a couple times this week.
Yeah.
Because he's proven to be a spark plug. He gets on base. He can steal bases for you. He's a switch hitter, so you always have the platoon advantage. He just makes a lot of sense right now, especially with the pitching matchups you're about to face and the struggle of Cole Young. That guy needs to play some more.
Yeah.
So I think Rivas should be getting a couple starts here.
Agreed. This is a series, again, where you need to get into the Braves bullpen. And so you need to eat away at Chris Sale's pitch count, at Hurston Waldrop's pitch count. Leo Rivas can help you do that. The real question for me, though, is this where we finally see Harry Ford?
No.
I feel like they've been waiting for him to make his debut in Georgia, where he's from. But are they really going to be like, hey, kid, take your first professional or major league at bat against Chris Sale?
It feels like something stupid they might do.
It does, right? It does.
It's like,
and talking about putting guys in the best position to succeed, that is not that.
No, well, I mean, it's just like, hey, kid, I know we could have gotten you like a softer landing against like Rasmussen, who's still good, but he throws a ton of fastballs. You're a good fastball hitter. Or maybe even Hauser, who's, having a good year, but he's just throwing a lot of sinkers. And like
Shane Baz.
Yeah, Shane Baz hasn't been good, although he smoked you.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's some opportunities here. Let's give you your soft landing. Instead, they're like, hey, kid, would you rather face Chris Sale or Spencer Strider this weekend for your major league debut? Yeah, that feels like the exact kind of stupid thing that Dan Wilson might do. So sure. I mean, like,
yeah.
I think there's something to be said though about a debut of a top prospect. Like, you just kind of bring some new energy to the lineup, and honestly, you bring a little bit of energy to the fan base. And well, it's tough to do that when you're on the road, but like, debuts are exciting, and especially debuts of top prospects are exciting. And so, this team that's kind of stagnated and is kind of like not giving a what right now, like to have a kid go out there and play with the vigor of a 22-year-old making his major league debut and trying to prove to everybody that he deserves to be a part of your franchise going forward, that might spark something here. And that's kind of what you're looking for right now. You're just looking for a little bit of a spark to get the guys going. But yeah, the idea that they would purposely hold on to Harry Ford so that he can make his debut in Georgia, that is more important to them than giving to them like, hey, you want to face Shane Baz or Chris Sale? Like you want to give him that cool like homecoming. I'm making my debut in my home state, and it's like, yeah,
is now the time for being sentimental?
I mean,
because that's ultimately what that is.
Yeah, it is. And it's just like, I mean, I can't imagine like making you've been called up to the big leagues for the first time. And you're like, this is awesome. I'm jacked. I'm excited. And then you have to sit for 4 days. If the plan was to just call him up and just be the emergency third catcher and never play him, you could have done that in a couple of weeks.
Right.
When Tacoma season ended and you would have had the same result. Like, so I don't know, but you go into that clubhouse. He was in Tampa for a day or two before Seattle got there. And then he sits there for 3 games watching, his teammates get destroyed by a mediocre baseball team. And then he gets an off day. And now he might make his debut this weekend, but they're facing, Sale, Strider, and Waldrop. And it's like, cool. You couldn't have gotten him at least an at bat. Like, or have him catch the 9th inning when you were, or the bottom of the 8th when you were down 8-0. Like,
Yeah.
really, there was no spot you could have just been like, hey, let's get your feet wet here. No, you had to hold off until they were in Georgia because he's from Georgia. What? I don't.
So outside of Rivas and Ford, anything else you want to see?
Yeah, I want to see him skip Luis Castillo. Talked about that already.
Mhm.
And I thought, there was still a way to squeeze some lemonade from the lemon that was Wednesday's game, where it's like, look, we're going to lose this game. What if instead of asking Saucedo to go 3, we say, hey, Munoz, you haven't pitched in a while, and we have tomorrow off. It's the 7th inning with 2 outs. Let's get you in the game, get this last guy, and then give you 4 out, and then have you get 3 outs in the 8th. And so we can get you used to the idea of coming into the game in the middle of an inning, sitting down, and then going back out there, because that's what you're going to have to do in the playoffs, I hope. Like we talked about this a little bit. I would like to see them start using the bullpen in a little bit more of a playoff type of mode, where you go to your best guy early and you ask him to get multiple outs. Again, you don't have to do it every time. I just thought Wednesday was the perfect opportunity to do that because you had Thursday off. So like, yeah, we don't normally want Munoz to go 4 outs and throw 25 pitches, but he had the built-in day off. He wasn't going to miss a game if he did that. And so, I thought that was a good opportunity. So whether they're up or down this weekend, I would like to see them do something like that. Like, you got to start doing that a little bit here, like we've talked about. So, and also, just in general though, if you trust Bizzardo to pitch the 8th inning against 2, 3, and 4 in a 1-run game, then you trust Bizzardo to pitch the 9th inning versus, 5, 6, 7 in a 1-run game. Put Munoz in the 8th and get him used to that role. Like, you need to start deploying your bullpen like you're in the playoffs, because if you do get in the playoffs, you want them to have that experience.
You're also kind of in the playoffs,
but
right?
Yeah, now. Also B, you're kind of already there.
Yeah, like every game is a playoff game right now.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
And in about 10 days, it will be. Those 6 games against Kansas City and Houston, those are playoff games.
Yeah, those are literally playoff games.
So, I want to see them deploy their bullpen a little bit more. I guess aggressively would be the way to describe it. But again, you don't have to do it every single game. You don't have to do it every single night. But you sprinkle it in a little bit, whether you're down or up, doesn't matter. Sprinkle it in, get these guys used to it. And again, if you trust Bizzardo to get the middle of the order out in the 7th inning of a 1-run game, you trust him to get the bottom of the order out in the 9th inning against a 1-run game. So go to Brash in the 7th or Munoz in the 7th and, just do this thing. Bizzardo's earned that trust. And again, he's not been perfect. I get it. And it would suck if you put Bizzardo out there in the 9th and he blew a save. Fine, whatever. But if you don't think Bizzardo's going to blow it in the 7th inning for you, there's no reason to suspect he'll blow it in the 9th versus worse hitters. So get Munoz out there and try to, give your offense, which is pretty good, give your offense a couple more innings to tack on insurance runs.
Yeah.
And so, I would like to see them be a little bit more aggressive with Munoz and not just save him for, 9th inning, we're up by 3 or less. That means it's Munoz. We have to save him just in case that's a scenario. You don't have to save him at all. Use him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so I'd like to see them do that. I'd like to see them be more aggressive with the bullpen. I'd like to see them utilize the bench. Most notably Rivas. And it's a bit of a bummer they don't get Robles back until tomorrow. So they will not have him. So that means, unfortunately, Dominic Canzone gets to face Chris Sale tonight.
Our sweet little baby giraffe.
The poor guy doesn't have a shot. Watch him go 3 for 4 with a couple of bombs or something weird like that. But no, you've seen
even if he does that though, there's going to be some of the worst swings you've ever seen in your entire life before he cranks one.
It's not even his fault. It's like lefties who are good against other lefties can't hit Chris Sale.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the best lefties in the world look stupid against Chris Sale.
Yeah. Maybe Robles will help raise the vibes a little bit.
Yeah, going back to that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, getting Robles back certainly helps.
I don't know if he was with the team in Tampa or not. I don't remember seeing him in the dugout.
I don't think he's allowed to be with the team.
He can do all the pregame stuff with the team.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
So, well, either way, I imagine he's there tonight because he'll be active tomorrow. So, I think
they said when they were in Cleveland that he was in Arizona.
Just trying to stay hot, get reps.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I imagine he'll be back in the dugout tonight, though, because they'll want him for tomorrow. But, yeah, maybe Robles will help. We certainly know he brings energy, and this team kind of needs energy. Like, it is a lot of, a lot of grumpusauruses in the dugout right now. They kind of need that guy to come in and
takes one to know one.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I've played in as many World Series as the Seattle Mariners have, so whatever. Maybe I know what I'm talking about, but it's just one of those things where it's like sometimes you just need a new guy to come in and just kind of provide some kind of spark. And we talked about this. Use Leo Rivas, see if he can spark the offense a little bit. Get Harry Ford, the 22-year-old top prospect. Let him make his debut and see if him going out there and playing his heart out because he's trying to prove himself at the big league level. See if that can add a little bit of spark to your club. And you get Robles back, who's the life of a party. And you really need somebody like, do you remember it was a couple of years ago, like Gino was really struggling and Scott called him into the office and he's like, I don't care if you go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts today. I need you to bring the juice. Like I need you to have that energy. And he did. And he took on that mentorship role and all that. And the nice thing is right now, Gino's actually, hitting the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
Recently. And so it's, I don't know if I felt his presence in the clubhouse, but also I'm not in the clubhouse, so I don't know. Maybe things are so bad right now. It doesn't matter what's going on in that clubhouse.
Not even good vibes only can fix it.
Like, so, but they need somebody like that. They need somebody to more than anything, they need somebody to step up on the field, but it sure feels like they need somebody to step up in that clubhouse because I just see a bunch of people going through the motions and just kind of like, when can I go back to the hotel room? This sucks. I don't want to be here. They need somebody to break that. And I think Robles might be that guy. But you know what else will also break that? Winning a couple ball games. Yeah,
winning. Yeah. Again, that's what ultimately is going to restore the vibes. Mm-hmm. Also, real quick here to your point about Gino, since the start of the Mets series, which was August 15th, slashing 246, 319, 554. That's pretty much what he was doing down in Arizona.
Basically, it's basically a season-long slash line in Arizona.
Yep.
Absolutely take that.
Yep. 144 WRC plus, 5 homers, 13 ribs. That's the guy that you traded for,
right? Like,
5 doubles. Yep.
Yeah.
10 of his 16 hits have been for extra bases over that
span. The guy you thought you were getting.
All right. That is going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzalez, Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. You can also find us on Instagram at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day and a beautiful baseball weekend, and we'll see you next time. Peace.